University of Akron with Shane Silk Saunders over here. Got into a lot of fun times back then.
I can imagine.
Maybe
I can't imagine. Maybe I can't.
Oh, we got sort of that one, but no, played there for 4 years. Was very successful as a college athlete. Then I decided to play professional basketball. Played professional basketball for 9 years, and essentially I retired. I walked away from it. I mean, I say retired. I walked away from it just because there were other goals I wanted to accomplish in my life before I went back. So that's a little bit about me. I like to think of myself as a Renaissance guy. I believe that life is about seeking to understand. You shouldn't believe you know everything. So
right, and just in the little bit I was talking to you now, I just met you. I picked up on that.
Yeah,
so.
you have to, especially now as the world isn't your friend. So, and this goes into politics. It goes into people's lives. It goes into way bigger than most people even think about. Is understanding that life isn't here to coddle you. It's not going to. So, as a minority myself, growing up where I grew up, I grew up in a rough part of in big key sports. So, I learned that I want to do the opposite of what everyone else was doing. And that essentially taught me to admit when you don't know something, because then you seek to understand what you don't know.
Learn from it.
Yeah. It's the people who think they know it all are the ones who lose. That's the moment you lose. Any wise man I've learned, it's a journey to always understand something. So I try to take that with every part of my life now. And it's brought me to a position where I'm at now, even at my age, being able to know some of the things I'm doing some of the accomplishments I'm trying to accomplish. I'm thankful to be in the position I'm in right now. So that's a little bit about me, but however you want to go into it,
So what organizations were you involved in playing wise?
Oh man, that's a lot. So I play, of course, the University of Akron. I go in order. So I just basically go into the countries because there's a lot of organizations I play for. So I went to Taiwan. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I went to Poland first. Then I went to Taiwan. Then I went to Belgium. Then I went to Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Dubai, France, China, Tunisia, Bahrain, Canada, Dominican, oh my goodness, what else? Germany, Ireland. Yeah, I'm like, I essentially been on every continent. It's like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been there a lot of places because essentially, and I tell this to a lot of professional athletes because I can do consulting for some athletes. You're not a basketball player. That's what a lot of people think they are. You're a contractor. You're essentially a basketball contractor. These organizations are hiring you for your basketball skill.
Right.
That's what you're contracting out. So, and everyone does this. Whether you work currently I'm working in UPS. So as a UPS driver, I am driving trucks for them. They're paying me money for it. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing for any job that you do. You have a podcast. The value you're bringing in is you're creating a podcast, creating content for people to listen to. It's the same thing. It's like you're a contractor. These guys are hiring you for basketball now. What does that provide for them? Well, you sell tickets if you win, which is really what they're paying you for. They're paying for you to win. Yeah. Because if you win, you get ticket sales, you get merchandise, you get apparel. They pay you $10,000. They're making $50,000. That's essentially what it is. Now, when you lose, people stop showing up. People stop buying tickets.
Like the
And-
Pistons right now, what 28 game losing streak?
Yeah.
People might buy tickets to see them win.
Yeah, well, see, in a place like the Pistons, that they can run at a deficit because the NBA's organization will subsidize them. So that's why they can get away with that.
Mm-hmm.
Not every league does that, but for the NBA, they'll subsidize it because it's if teams start falling out, like in Europe, that's what happened. If they run out of money, then they're gone.
They're gone. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't imagine it's just be gone. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. So, I'm pretty sure through the luxury tax, that's how they're able to subsidize some of the teams if they're running at a deficit too low. But then you'll have your diehard fans. Cleveland Browns is a good example.
Yeah.
Like, they're not making that much money either, but the NFL will help them if they are running a deficit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the business side comes in. A lot of athletes and players do not understand it, and that's where I try to educate them on. Because if you can understand how they make their money and what they're looking for, then you can indirectly, which is what I'm attempting to do right now, you can indirectly play professional sports without worrying about the win and loss record. And I use the example all the time. I'll say, I'll tell the athletes, if you have 100,000 YouTube subscribers, and you can, in good faith, say you can get 10% of those guys, it's 10,000 people, to buy your jerseys, buy your tickets, buy your streaming services, whatever you want in that situation on a team, let's say I'm playing for. Well, that organization is going to look at me and say, oh, I have 10,000 people who are going to buy your stuff. So if you don't hire me, then you don't get these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I can charge them $5 a month to get to a stream, that's $50,000. If I break them, let's say 15%, and they're making $15,000, and on top of my salary, now this is where negotiation comes in. So now it's, well, you want this market because you guys are brand new, and these guys will get you money because that's all it is over there. It's about money. Oh, now I don't care about the win and loss record, because as I call it, if you're green on the balance sheet, they don't care. They're making money. Their sponsors are making money,
Right.
which is what it's all about. Their sponsors are paying your salary, which means they need people at the game, which means if they for the game, the sponsors aren't getting what they want. As you can tell by our market environment through YouTube, even YouTube AdSense is down. Businesses aren't advertising as much anymore because there's not enough money to go around. So this is why, especially now, which is why I'm overseas, because I know a lot of these teams who are offering me right now won't have the money, especially if things go wrong. And I'm not taking that risk. I'd rather take a risk with UPS than
Right. Yeah.
take a risk playing with you
Yeah.
guys when you can't pay me. You owe me money, not have to go out like
Yeah.
So that's essentially where it's a bigger, much bigger picture. But when you know how to do it, then now you can take money out of the picture, and that's how a lot of players get manipulated. Get manipulated because they have to go overseas. Oh, wow, I need the money. Well, you think they don't know that? Well, clearly they know that. So if you take money out of the picture, well, now you're the one who's in control. Like I said, I have 10,000 people who are ready to buy your stuff. Now you get rid of me, I'm gonna make this heartfelt apology. Oh, well, I tried to do my best, and we just couldn't handle it. And of course, I'm gonna take some of your fans, and then my fans are gonna boycott you because they believe you shouldn't have got rid of me, et cetera, et cetera. See, that's where the power of branding comes in. And I think that's where, one of my businesses I'm doing right now is what I'm trying to encourage athletes, starting from high school now, actually middle school, really, because of NIL. And then that's where you go into NIL. All this is starting to come full circle. They all are starting to understand the power of branding. So right now, we have a lot of sharks in the water with a lot of these agents who are going after some kids. Yeah, they're going after kids right now, 7th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going after the parents, which really ticks me off because the parents are more ignorant than the kids are.
For sure.
So now the parents will get wooed into, let's say, a $20,000 vacation, not realizing that they're signing. I mean, I don't think it was Wiz, but there was a kid in this area. The Wiz Khalifa had an 8-year NIL deal. It was a good deal. Don't get me wrong. I think it was like $100,000. Good deal. But the long picture is, if in any time between that 9 years, you disapprove Wiz Khalifa's message, you can't say no. Because now you're essentially signed to him.
Yeah.
And that kid probably has no idea. The parents are the ones who signed it because they have power of attorney numbers. He's below 16 or he's 18. So he can't say anything. But we all know when it comes to minority communities, what they're going to do. They're going to sign it on the dotted line anyway. So that's why I have the passion to create what I'm doing now, is because I'm sick of seeing it. Like, I'm sick of seeing it. It's like, because it burned me. So it's, if they're going to do that, you better be at least well informed, where you can at least see the BS in front of you before you get taken advantage of, because it's not the parent, and I always say it's not the parents that pay for it, it's the kids. They don't pay for it. It's the kids that pay for it. I watch a parent destroy Division I opportunity for their kid because she did not be quiet. She's yelling. The kid's trying to tell her, like, Mom, it's okay. It's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. Division I coach. Oh, I knew he was. Just walked out. It's like, he won't even know about it. But like, that's how quickly it can change. And like I said, it goes much bigger. It's not just the college. It's not just the grant. It's everything.
Everything, yeah.
It's understanding how this world works. Because once you get it, then it's easy to manipulate. Then it's easy to tweak it to how you want to do. That's essentially what I'm doing right now. All these people complain about how bad the economy is. I can't wait. Oh, I've been waiting for this for so long. Because to me, it's nothing but opportunity. That's why I'm staying here right now. Because by the time the summertime comes, it's going to be a field sale for me. So it's understanding how this works, and then you can put yourself in a position to capitalize. Then you can fulfill whatever your dreams and passions are, which is really what I'm talking about, which is why I don't mind being in this podcast, and I'm thankful that you guys invited me. That's what this podcast is about. You guys have a passion or a value that you guys believe you want to bring to the world. That's what it's about. And you can create value for it. That's one of the most powerful things about YouTube. I've been getting lives athletes. You should have been doing this. Like Jaron Smith talks about, oh, well, I blew $50 million. Man, I wish I knew that. It's too late. I hate hearing that. Oh, I wish I knew. No, too late. It's too late. Like, you have $50 million. Like, you blew it going to the club. Like, could have easily took care of so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you give me one of those contracts, I can retire so simply. A lot of these people don't understand how to do that. And I really encourage people who do grassroots things like this to make money in your passion. We just talked about YouTube, how someone just reading horror stories now making 6 figures because people want to watch it. There you go. Find something you're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
Become the best at it, and have an authentic enthusiasm for it. That's how, in my opinion, you get popular on YouTube. You need to be authentic and you have enthusiasm about what you do. Because if you have enthusiasm, you seek to understand what you're learning because you want to know it.
And then that leads to people wanting you're passionate about it, so they'll be.
Yeah, and as in any circle, of course, it's going to take hard work. It's it's going to be hard work, but I'd rather you do that and you're investing in what you want, because YouTube is giving everyone the power to do that.
Right.
That's what YouTube is, even though YouTube is going down the real shitstorm right now. But I mean, still, YouTube has 40% of the world population. Like, if you're not on YouTube, then like, as much as I don't like Google right now, I'll still be on YouTube. It's 40,000 people. It's like 40% of the population. Like, there are, like, I was in Dominican. There are Spanish channels, 20, 30 million subscribers. I never even heard of them. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
But there's a whole market there. So that's kind of where I think the power comes in. There are small niches for literally anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get 100,000 subscribers, averaging, I don't know, 500 views. You can easily make $5,000, $6,000 a month. Like, there you go. Like, it can literally be that simple. But, well, not to say it's simple. It's hard work. We all know that. But life's hard. You got to find what's worth suffering for. So, and that's really I try to embody this. And that's essentially where I come in when it comes to anything I'm doing. I try to embody everything I say. Everything I'm telling you, I'm doing in my own life. Like, there's no other way of doing it. So.
You remember where you were, either what country you were, which state of mind, which state of basketball, what you were doing when you decided, you know what, I got to make this pivot to teaching people about branding themselves, about marketing, about, putting money back, investing, whatever it may be? Like, what made you want other players to get this knowledge?
Well, I'll be honest, I've been like this most of my career actually. So so you'll have guys, like I know a guy right now, he's in Omaha, Nebraska, just retired. Like his name is Stefan Bradford. I think he was making like 128K a month in France. Like, there be guys like that, they'll listen to me and they'll be like, oh yeah, you're one of those guys. Like one of those smart guys. Yeah. Real elementary. But they also, like, as even though it's a stereotype, I'll give it to them. But they see, oh, well, can you help me? And then I'll tell them, and I always tell them this, is what I would tell them. Very simple analogy. You put $1 million in a mutual fund at 3.5% a year. It's $35K a year the rest of your life. You look at me like I'm crazy right now. And I say 3.5% for a reason. Because the average, if you study finance, the average return on the market, they say is between 7 and 10%. Well, I say 3.5 for a reason, because at 3.5%, the average mutual fund, if they do it right, should be around 6%. So you take 3.5, you keep 1% for risk, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to go down or up. So you leave 1% in for a risk assessment. And you leave the last 1.5 for reinvestment. So next year, when you take another 3.5, it's 36K. You do this long enough, eventually you're making 60K at the end of your life, let's say in 30 years. That's one asset class. Do that with real estate, your business. This is where, all these rich gurus will talk about, oh, you need 4 or 5 streams. That's where that comes from. That's just one. And I'll ask, can you live on 35K a year? Yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what bothers me when I watch guys like J.R. Smith. It's, oh, yeah, I blew 40 mil. You just threw that in an insurance policy. The dividends alone at 4% will give you 40K. Like, that's what, 4K a month? I can easily pay for my personal expenses for 4K a month.
Oh, absolutely.
That simple. Just a mil. And somebody's got to be making this like this is what I'm trying to teach them. I can't do that as a financial advisor. Because what they'll tell me to do is, oh, well, you need to sell insurance policies. You need to sell commissions. Like, it ain't about selling anything. Like, I need to educate, and then they'll make decisions for themselves. That's really what I'm about. Because we all know bad real estate agents, bad financial advisors, bad people take advantage. Like, that's not what I'm about. I'm about educating you enough so you can see the BS around you. There's a lot of it. I mean, like, what's his name? SBF just got arrested for his crypto scam. It's like they're everywhere. These guys are looking to take advantage of you. So to answer your question, it was Tunisia in a real sense. I was in Tunisia, March of 2020. That was when COVID was hitting. And when COVID hit, the contract essentially stated if COVID was to shut down, we don't have to pay you. I'm not staying overseas. They already owed me, what, 10 grand. I'm not seeing it. I know I won't. Because if I take it to court, they're going to say, well, act of God because of COVID.
Right.
So there's no reason for me to fight. And even though they try to ask me to play for them again, I said, no. Like, you owe me money. What makes you think I'm going to come back? But in a real sense, it's that's the reality a lot of these athletes are dealing with. And then a lot of these athletes don't understand the business side. So you don't understand that. Like I said, marketing dollars across the world's going down. It's a worldwide recession. It ain't just in here in America. Like, Dominican's inflation's insane. Like, I have a girl, my baby girl's down there. That's the summer I visit her electricity bill was like $40 US. In like 6 months, it was $90 US. The average income in Dominican Republic is $250 US. They rioted for it. Like, so it affects, and this is understand economics, it affects everything. An economy is a tool that we human beings have created to try to direct goods and services where our labor, our hands. That's what's invaluable. We create iPhones with this through Steve Jobs, or food, or innovations. Whatever we do, everything we have has been created by human labor. That's why they call it human capital. Human capital is invaluable. But where should we direct that human capital at? Right now, it's been directed to a lot of bad stuff, which is why a lot of businesses are about to go bankrupt right now. But that's where you understanding the power of human capital and where it's going is where, that's actually how you invest. Like, okay, well, like, where do you think, like right now, for instance, I'm investing in uranium right now. Why? Because America wants to go green with electric vehicles. Well, our power can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the logical next step of how we're going to have to power all our stuff? Nuclear energy. Well, how are we going to get it? Well, we need uranium for it. Well, the biggest uranium deposit in the world is in Canada. Guess what I'm investing in? All of these Canadian uranium companies who are doing surveys right now. And in about a year, when they find it, it's going to skyrocket. I already know it is. That's why I'm waiting for it. I'm just waiting for it because they have to. Like, we can't, our current electric grids can't handle our electric vehicles now, which is why in California there's blackouts. As you can tell, once you know this stuff, like I'm saying all this stuff as a real like catch-all, but once you understand it, then it's easy to be able to maneuver how you want to do. It's the ignorance is what hurts a lot of people, especially in the black community. Black community is very ignorant. They don't know anything about the world, and then when they get taken advantage of, they expect a handout. And as I tell a lot of people in the black community, no one's going to give you power. You have to take it. You have to understand how it works. And when they screw up, you take advantage of it. But that's a once again, it's a mindset that you have to adopt because no one's going to give you power. No one's going to willingly give it to you. Even for your podcast, that's what competition is. Mm-hmm. These guys want their stuff too. It's going to get even worse, which is why crime rates are going up because now people are getting more desperate. It's going to get even more cutthroat. So you need to understand when to be vicious, when to, become more enthusiastic about what you're doing, work harder at what you're doing, put more effort into what you're doing. And then once you do that, you can eclipse everyone else. It's a hard formula, but it's a formula that once you understand, the only difference is, well, are you willing to, put in the work or put in the sacrifices required for it? And that's really what it's about. That's why I haven't played overseas. As much as I would love to escape to over there. Just got offered, last week? ESS in Tunisia wants me. It's like, nope, can't do it. Because I haven't succeeded my goals here yet. So that's essentially why I did it. I wanted to become a brand. When I go overseas, I want my digital storefront to be ready. So see people look up Zeke Marshall again. NBA Scouts doesn't come up. YouTube might come up, but I want my website to be SEO Google certified. And I want when they click that, and I get all the traffic that comes with it, and all the ads that come with it, and then my storefront comes up. You see my courses, my apparel, my accolades. That's what I want. And then when that happens, then I'll go overseas. Because then at that point, every time I play for a team, and he said, "Oh, we got Zeke Marshall." Guess what? All their fans are going to do? Look up Zeke Marshall. Yep. So that's why. That's actually why I walked away. Because I got sick of it. After Tunisia, I learned after that. I got 400 friend requests on Facebook. That's my biggest network. It's Facebook. I hate Facebook too. But I got 400 friend requests in 2 days. In my mind, I thought, how many people are looking up Zeke Marshall right now? And I have nothing to show for it. So, with that and everything else I said, it's I need to build this brand now before I go back overseas. And since I am I just turned 33, technically I can still go back. So it's not like I can't. So I'm glad that, once again, I'm not J.R. Smith and I figured out at 45. At least I'm 33 and I can make the decision. Oh, yeah, it is what it is. These guys are figuring this out in their 50s, 40s. It's too late. Sorry. Right. I figured this out in my early 20s, but I didn't have the know-how because I was on my own doing it.
Right.
But now I have, with AI, with AI, it makes everything so much easier, which is one of my businesses. So it's with AI, it just makes it so much more efficient. So now I have the means on creating what I need to create. Man, what's up, people?
One question I had for you.
What's up?
When Sip was telling me about you, when you're overseas and playing in different countries, how much of a bubble are you in, and how much do you have to learn of other cultures that you're playing in, or is it kind of everything's? They
are receptive to you because you're an American. Mm-hmm. So they understand, that they'll give you some leeway. But I think a big issue, and I'm starting to notice this actually in a lot of podcasts, they're starting to talk about it now. a lot of people, man, I was gonna show you the video. Some guy went on a podcast talking about how he lived in Saudi Arabia and how he thinks it's way better in New York. And the guys start laughing at him. Oh my God, you think Saudi Arabia's better in New York? He's looking at them like, you guys don't know anything. That's exactly, and that mindset is what I'm referring to. Americans have this mindset they think they're better than everyone else. And that's where the problem lies. It's that when you think you're better than everyone else, then you aren't, I guess call it submissive to their culture, because you need to be. When you go to Saudi Arabia, you can't talk to women in front of people. In the moment you do, you go to jail. And Silk knows this story already, because I told him about it before. It's like, there are certain, if you don't, you end up a Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
That is the like the end of the road is what happened to Brittany Griner. When you don't do it, you go overseas thinking you're better than everyone else, and you find out that the power structure's there. This is why you need to be informed about politics.
Mm-hmm.
Power structure's there, don't care. But she didn't realize, and this is what I was telling people when that was happening. It's that the team she plays for, this is how dumb she is. The team she plays, it is what it is. The team she plays for, the oligarch that owns her team, got arrested 2 months before she showed up. She didn't even know it. Putin brought all the oligarchs, about 15 of them, brought them all together and said, I'm taking all the power. You guys are either going to follow me or going to jail. And that's when you start hearing about how they were getting all their assets seized. So if the oligarch who allowed you to smoke weed just got kicked out, what makes you think you about to have them?
Right.
But no. 2 months after that happened, you decided to walk your ass over there with a weed pen when it's illegal there. And the oligarch that normally got you off is gone. Like, that's that ignorance I'm talking about. Like, that right there. Because so many people do that. In Saudi Arabia, they do it. They think, I'm American. You think they care?
Right.
It's like, you need to be at least aware of the systems in the place you're going to.
Right.
At the bare minimum, you have to at least be aware. Like, you can't just go over there assuming, oh, well, they're always going to accommodate me. It's times they will, because to them, you are an American, which on average, not all the time, but on average, we live a better life than most of them. But don't get it twisted when it comes to our mindsets. Like, the West has been falling when it comes to personally, morally, mentally, in a lot of ways. So there are some things they won't tolerate. Like, they won't tolerate. So if you don't understand those nuances, you can get your, especially when you don't know their language, which is another issue, because people won't. Oh, I don't want to speak their language, and guys speak English.
Right.
Okay, well, if there's enough corruption going on, well, you think they're gonna care? No, they're not gonna care. They're just gonna take you, like they bring Griner, and then she wouldn't shut up. And you got on Putin's radar, and now you're a political prisoner. I told a few friends about this when I was in Dominican. The guy wanted to go to China. I told him, do not go to China. That's why I personally never go back to China. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Oh, it's so bad. Cameras everywhere. They watch you. They're pounding on my door, middle of the night. Oh, we're doing checks.
For what?
Exactly. But that's what the CCP is. So when my friends telling me how good China is, I'm like, no. He created an entire business. I don't know what happened to it. But he created just basketball clinics and tried to create this business with his partner. And I'm thinking, you have no idea. Like, that's what I mean. He has no idea. He's making a business decision, not understanding the political risk. So, like, I think that's the most important thing, especially when you're traveling all these countries, that you have to at least be aware about who you're going into, where you're stepping in. You will get some accommodation, but only go so far. So, I'm more of laid back guy, So I'm more laid back. I don't impose my will on others. And that has saved me a number of times because I don't know if I'm going to offend somebody. And that's something that I'd rather be more safe than sorry when I'm in a country that I'm not 100% sure, and especially when I was in Russia. I was only in Russia for like 2 weeks. Nope. Like, that's what I mean. It's like when you're in countries like this, like, you can't be going in thinking, well, you'll get away with it. No, you might not. And if you don't know the right people, which is Brittany Griner's issue, what she should have did was find a lawyer, shut up, find a good lawyer, have them work the table to get you out before Putin finds out. No, you decide to make a huge scene on social media, and then he finds out about you, and we think what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, you want her? Okay. Oh, she's with me. Give us the Art of War, the whole movie Art of War. Oh, yeah, give him back. We want him back. Which is why you don't hear her talk no more. Because we just got rid of him as murder for you. It's like, that's why all of a sudden she's American. Yeah, you better be. Because there were people who wanted you to stay over there because it was your fault, which I was full agreement on. You should stay over there. It's your fault. You thought you were better than everyone else? Well, now you deal with the consequences of it. And you get caught in jail. And I'd rather bring our brothers, our military. There was a Navy SEAL over there. I'd rather bring him out. Mm-hmm. You can stay. Because you think you're better than everyone else. And you think you're stronger than everyone else. And you go ahead and you deal with the consequences of it. Rather than us having to pay for it now. Which is, war. Which is why you've seen all these wars going on. So, that's kind of where where my mindset comes in. It's that we have to take responsibility, understand where you're going, who you're dealing with, and, taking a back seat to and learning about their culture, because you'll learn all types of stuff. This is where I got all my insight now. It's really helped me to see the world way differently. I see it way differently now.
I can imagine.
That's what helped me at least.
So take us back to the Zeke Marshall before you got your exploration.
Oh man, and, I was the gamer, geek, nerd. Love my video games. Haven't played video games in a while though, but went to high school, Guitar Hero. No, I was featured on ESPN magazine, Rise magazine. That was their high school magazine back then. And I was on the front, and they said, "Not Zeke Marshall, not your typical superstar." It's because I had 3.4 GPA. Like, I had 3.4. That's not hard in high school. It's not hard. It's not hard. They have a whole thing about me because I'm not your typical superstar. Because most superstars are having 1.9s. I'm like, how? So. That's kind of what happened. And I got to college, and of course I had my good fun in college. I miss college though. There were some good times there. But I just stayed. That's the basketball most of my life. Sacrificed a lot for it. Though I wouldn't trade it for the world though. Even though I know people, we had their spring breaks. I mean, I have 2 championships. I've traveled the world, and I'm in my early 30s, and I've done way more than most people do their entire lives. So I'm thankful for that. I feel like I've won in the long run, which is why I walked away from basketball when I did. Because in the long run, I already know I'm going to win. It's just I have to pay the toll for it, which is what I'm doing now. So that's essentially where, and that also comes into the play of my gaming. I haven't gamed in 2 years. Still got my gaming laptop. I haven't gamed really in 2 years. I can't afford to, because back when I was gaming, I was handling my business, I like to call it. I was playing basketball, doing my thing. Everything was covered. I can't do that when I have business I have to handle. Like right now, I need my house. I got to get my investment property first. I got to get my studio. Next time I play games, it needs to be because I'm creating content. I don't want to do it just to do it anymore. I want to monetize all my passions. That's essentially what my goal is right now. Every passion I have, anime, gaming, finance, basketball, all of it. It's gonna be monetized in some way, and do it just enough to where it's not work, but it's gonna be just enough where I can once again monetize it, and then have the enthusiasm like I'm doing right now. I mean, I just can't wait. I keep thinking of that. It's like I know it'll do well, especially with all the AI tools I have now. I don't even need to hire editors anymore. I have AIs that can do all of it for me. So it's like now it's just a matter of putting the pieces in place. So that's kind of where where my story happened when I was in college. But I mean, college was a really good time though, man. Had a real good time with some of my guys. I'm so glad I went to Akron, because I could have went to a lot of places. I probably the other spot I could have went to was Harvard. So I was thinking about Harvard, but I'm glad with Akron, real talk.
That's something else I wanted to ask you, Z. How did that conversation go? This guy from McKeesport, Pennsylvania, a legendary coach like Keith Danbrock coming down, sitting in your living room, talking to your mom. How did he swing the 7-foot superstar to come play at Akron, Ohio?
Well, it actually wasn't Keith Danbrod. It was Jeff Bowles.
I got you.
So Keith Danbrod was good. Don't get me wrong, but Jeff Bowles was really the one who got me, which is why when he got me, he got the job at Ohio State. That's when they hired him. That's why they got me. And, he had to sit down and tell me, he's like, well, Zeke, I'm taking up on Ohio State. I say, no, you're good. Do what you need to do with your family. So I didn't hold anything against him. But Jeff Bowles created a connection with me. I mean, a lot of, as I explained a little bit earlier with the NIL, it's money. Whether people understand it or not, it's all about money. So back then, I had one way to get rid of universities was that to give me information IT program because that's what I wanted to go to school for. And only 3 schools gave it to me: Harvard, Akron, and George Mason. I'm like, well, all y'all gone. It's like, all you're gone. So apparently you don't care enough about me to do something I'm asking for. So that weeded up most of them out. But then Jeff Bowles really closed it. And of course, Keith Danbrock, say he was going to play, and his connection with LeBron. And I mean, it was just, it felt like, and my mom gave me the last push. But I'm thankful I went to Akron. Met some of my best friends still. I could have made maybe a better decision in Harvard, but it's Harvard,
Right.
So it's maybe, but they also didn't have full athletic scholarships then, so I had to get scholarships in all these other ways, which I didn't want to deal with. But outside that, Akron was it. It's like, let's do it. I played every year. I got better. We win. Most teams in bigger schools, I've never been to a tournament. I've been to it twice. So, and
So I was going to ask, the biggest stage you played on in college?
NCAA tournament.
Tournament?
Yeah, we went to the tournament. We got to the tournament twice. I know guys who never went to the tournament, went to bigger schools than me. Keith Danbrough is a phenomenal coach. He's probably the only coach to this day I still trust. Every other coach overseas, I don't trust. They're just not good. They're not. They are there to they're not good. A lot of coaches, they coach by having their game plan fit the players rather than the other way around. The real way you're supposed to coach is you, as my coach Keith Danbrough would say, you put your players in a position to be successful. You find their strengths and you put them in positions where they can do what they do best. Most coaches will want them to fit their own mold, and it doesn't work that way. And that's how most coaches overseas are like. They have their own little game plan. They want to do their own thing. And then it doesn't work if you don't have the right players. And it's like, well, and this is where you could go right to the NBA. That's what happened with David Blatt when he was playing with LeBron in Cleveland. He wanted to play a European offense, and LeBron, no. Because LeBron needs to have the ball in his hands all the time. It's like, no. LeBron, and he's starting to learn it now. And people are starting to figure it out now. I've been saying this while I was in college. LeBron needs to have the ball in his hands. So the only gay players who are good with LeBron are shooters. That's why shooters are normally good. Daniel Gibson, these guys who just shoot threes. That's who's good with LeBron. But anyone else, like a Kevin Love, for instance, who likes to be in a block, who gets 20 rebounds a game. No, you can't be in a block because LeBron's coming in.
Yeah. So
you have to fit LeBron what LeBron wants to play, which is why he doesn't do well when he gets to certain teams. Which is why he's not doing too well right now in the Lakers. It's Anthony Davis who's really doing something right now. But it's LeBron. His play style is one way. Give me the ball. I'm a drive. Kick out. It's and then you ain't no post ups. Ain't no ISOs for anyone else. It's LeBron with the ball in his hands. It's like, dude. For some players, yes, that's great. But for other players, it's not. And that's why you see normally superstars who go play with him, numbers drop on average almost all the time. Because you have to fit his mold, because it's it's LeBron's way or no way. Like, like I can, there's stories I can say about that. Like LeBron you have to do it his way, and he has so much. And man, he's so smart. I hate it. He's so smart but so stupid, in my opinion. Like, he has the entire NBA marketing, like the branding, the marketing. He knows all that. He has people under his payroll. Like, I get it is like, it's smart. I'm not going to give him credit. Like, it's smart. He has people who talk about him, and he's able to pay people to do it, which is why you always hear everything about LeBron. Like, he has entire social media pages for based on just talking about him. I'm not saying it's not smart. It is. He's extremely brandable, marketable. That's why he's worth as much as he is. But it's not good for the people around him either, and that's kind of where that's where the a sour taste in people's mouth about LeBron always comes in when he wants to say he's the best. So, people are like, yeah, you're good, but it's always a but. That's why people say that. It's like you have your underhand tactics, but you don't do the work like Kobe does. You won't do that. You won't sacrifice for your team, which is what Kobe did in the Olympics. When Coach K came to him saying, "Hey, you can't shoot these shots." I think they had in one interview of his. Coach K sat him down one before morning practice, before they had the game. He said, "Look, you can't shoot these shots." And Kobe was like, "You're right. You shouldn't shoot these shots." I'm like, and Coach K was really, he was like, "You never know what these superstars will say." It's like, that is what I'm referring to. He said, "You know what? Yeah, you're right. Let me adapt my game so we can win the gold medal." He was like, "Because this isn't Lakers. This is Team USA. And you have to play differently here." And sure enough, he was able to adhere to that. Like that's, to me, what a real leader does. And LeBron just has a really bad habit of not doing that. And that's kind of what always gets me with him. It's like,
Speaking of LeBron, Z, 2 questions for you. The first part is, how was it the first time you played with him when he came to, the open gyms at the practices? 2, I never asked you this in the moment, but it was around the time when LeBron made a decision to leave Cleveland. They put your poster up, your Zeke Marshall. Was it a Nike poster?
yeah.
They put that up in the city. How did you feel when you saw that?
Oh, man. Like, so for your first question, repeat your first question again.
How did it feel having the opportunity to play with LeBron?
I mean, it was a good opportunity. I mean, it was LeBron. That was his prime. I was proud of LeBron too. That was back when he was 6'8", 285, 275. Like, he's huge. Like, so he'll come in the gym and he'll do what he does. It deflated me too, because then I saw the bad side to him. Like, and it's like, and I'm not the type of guy that worships men. A lot of guys in Akron would worship him, and it bothered me, because I don't like that. I don't like worshiping anyone. You're a great player, great, but he expected to be worshipped, and I hated it. So it's like, oh well, we gotta use this ball. Why? Yeah, I get it. You're LeBron, but why are we listening to what you want to say? Well, yeah, he paid his stripes. No, you're a basketball player. Great, you're a great basketball player, but you are a basketball player. You're not better than everyone else just because you've done more. And that's how I've always viewed it. And that's how I treat my leaders when I'm overseas too. I don't think I'm better than anyone else who's lower than me. It's that we all have a job. My job just may be more important, but it doesn't mean that your job isn't as important, which is why he doesn't win. It's the same reason. He thinks he's better than everyone else, which means everyone else's job isn't as important, and then gets upset when he loses and then blames, "Oh, well, I don't have a good team around me." Like, yeah. Dude, it's like, and that's that's what I felt around him. Like, I hate to say this tonight, but seriously, to me, he reminds me of a princess. He has princess syndrome, and it really bothers me. I hate guys who are like that, because it's like you want everything given to you, and that's literally what he expected day one when he got in. And the thing is, people gave it to him.
Oh yeah. And
that's the thing. It's not much I can say, but I know for me, I wasn't going to do that, which is why I was able to dunk on him. And he got mad. He probably dunked on me next, but it's like, hey, I don't care, but I'm dunking on you. So, but the second thing is, for that poster, it was, I was never a type. It's been, man. See, this is why I wish I knew what I knew then. But back then, it felt nice to have that, because it was a testament to the brand that I was cultivating for myself back then. I didn't really understand it at that age, but because I was never really that big on fame. I wish I took it a little more seriously back then, though, when it comes to social media. But social media was in its infancy back then. But it was it was gratifying for me because it showed that we meant something, not just a soccer team. They just won a national championship that year.
Those games were fun.
Yeah. So when they won that national championship, there was pressure on us, and I'm like, well, we win. We're not the football team, which is great. We're the football team because they lost. But for us, it's like, well, we're getting some rewards, and that's how I looked at it. It wasn't just me. It was like, well, Akron basketball is now getting respected, and that's kind of more how I looked at it. So it was a great time. Of course, like I say, it was me, of course, but it was still a good thing to see that the basketball is getting respected because, as you know, and where we're at, it's football. Ain't no basketball. No one cares. So that's kind of how I viewed it then. So it was a good time. Really good time. I was just helping a friend find a rental. I think like 3 months ago. She was complaining about how she can't find an affordable rental below $900. I'm looking at her like, what? Like, there was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment in Coraopolis for $650 a month right now. Oh, well, it needs a yard. Then I don't want to hear you complain. Like, there you go. Well, I need a yard.
Well, yeah, what are you complaining?
Exactly. It's like, you want a yard? Well, guess what? You're gonna pay more for it.
Pay, yeah.
Like so if you aren't willing to drop your standard of living, then well, I need to have this. No, you don't. You want to have this. This is where my financial advisor will tell you, and this is where my financial advisor career comes in. It's not needs versus wants. Understand what your needs are. Your needs isn't a new car. Like, it's what you want. But a lot of Americans, and I say Americans because it's an American problem, is we mix needs and wants all the time because we've been real. Let's just say we've been real spoiled the past 40 years. But unfortunately, we're about to lose a lot of it, and that's that's a whole another topic. But like our economy is not going to be the same anymore. I mean, I hate to do and gloom it, but it's literally at that point. Like we're about to hit the worst financial crisis in history. We're at that point right now. In 2000 stuff real quick, most economies are built in 3 pillars. You have equities, which are businesses, Apple, creating services for us to use. You have real estate, people live, and bonds, which is debt. In 2000, when the stock market crashed, just stocks fell. Real estate fell a bit, but bonds were safe. In 2008, just real estate fell. Stocks got taken down a little bit, but bonds were safe. Right now, all 3 are in here. That's a bubble right now. And which is what's going to, and the result of it is the Fed is going to start printing money again, and it's going to devalue the U.S. dollar so much that compared to other currencies, which is why a lot of rich people are buying gold right now, it's going to destroy what we're going to experience is through inflation. The prices are going to start skyrocketing. It's going to skyrocket so much that a lot of people are going to start complaining about it. Then they're going to complain about wages, and then they're going to try to get wages up, but some businesses aren't going to be able to because they're running a deficit. So if they can't afford it, well, guess what's going to happen? Layoffs. In the Great Depression, guess where unemployment was at? 20%. Imagine 1 in 5 Americans unemployed. Yeah, so if that starts happening, productivity goes down, tax revenue goes down, which means they got to tax you more. It's this never-ending cycle. So now is understanding how to protect yourself through something like that. And this is where, this is why people say buy real assets. There's a lot of things you can do to try to protect yourself from this. But the real issue is that most regular people don't even understand what's coming. And there are forces beyond their control that are controlling their entire livelihoods. This is why I talk to Silk all the time about having 2 citizenships, 3 citizenships. I plan on buying a property in the Caribbean, so I have a Caribbean visa. Probably want to buy a house in New Zealand, so I have a New Zealand visa for Australia, Asia, and those places. And then once I have 3 visas, then I might renounce America because America's citizenship follows you everywhere. You always have to pay taxes, doesn't matter where you're at, if you have an American passport. Which is why some nomads have already renounced their citizenship, but they have 3 other visas in 3 other countries, so they're safe wherever they need to go. But that's how some people are doing already. Some guys I know on YouTube have already left. They've already left out of here quietly. Of course, you don't want. Yeah. Oh, it's been quiet. It's been real. It's been a quiet exit. But people have been leaving slowly. Like they don't want to be a part of it because they know. I mean, this is where politics comes in. This is when who do you want to let leave holding the bag? It's gonna be the people. They don't care about you. They already got their money. They got their inflation. They got their assets. They're gonna sell, which is what they've been doing. And then once they inflate the dollar away, well, your savings is extra savings. And most people are all in on U.S. dollar, and that's the problem. And that's why I'm bullish in Bitcoin. That's why I like crypto. That's why I like gold. That's why I like having other assets. I like real estate. I like other things of value, because if you're all in on dollars, which most people are, things about to get real unaffordable for you. And when it does, and what are you gonna do? Like, you can't do anything about it. You're just gonna have to deal with it and hope every other country is worse than we are. That's the only thing that's gonna save us. If every other country is worse than we are, because if they're worse, then they're gonna use the U.S. dollar anyway. But if they don't, then people are just gonna buy gold, which is why gold is no all-time high again. It's like people are just the small ones are just buying real assets and let the dollar inflate away, and then whenever they need cash, they're gonna sell their gold, get what they want. I'm about to do that with crypto personally, so I'd rather do it with crypto because I can carry a flash drive with my Bitcoin. I go to Dominican Republic. If I need Dominican pesos, hey, I'll sell some Bitcoin, get Dominican pesos. And that's kind of how I'll personally protect myself. All right. But that's just my strategy. But it's just, having this understanding is important because you're affected by it whether you want to or not.
Right.
So, it's kind of, it's up to you. But a lot of people about to be, it's going to be bad this year. Like it's good for me. As long as I stay at UPS, it'll be good for me. But for most, I have 3 friends already who have declared bankruptcy. It ain't good. Like, it ain't good. It's about to be real. It's about to be real nasty, and asset values will drop. So if some like not financial advice, but save cash, get enough cash to cover your daily expenses. Make sure that's covered. Get your daily expenses covered. But once you have that, man, when they have to sell because they're forced to, that's when you buy. And just don't over leverage yourself. It's the only difference. It's like a lot of people will over leverage and say, oh well, if I can get $200,000, I'm about to. No, don't buy $200,000 if you don't have $200,000. Buy something $40,000 or $50,000, which is why I'm still in Pittsburgh. Like I just saw a duplex for $50,000. Like I want a duplex.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean. Like get something like that. Don't get $250,000 and you can't afford it, and then it goes through foreclosure, and I get it then. Either or, it's like get something you can afford, save your cash, and just buy real assets if you can. But that's asking for a lot of people. So that's kind of where that's that middle ground where you have to figure out what it is, and that's where my businesses come in. I'm trying to educate this on that. But for most, it's like that's the reality of what's about to happen, and I hope people can get themselves out of it. But there's about to be a lot of casualties. I already know there is, though I can't wait for it.
One of those gloomiest prophetic ways to end a podcast.
Yeah, listen. I've been waiting for it for so long, because there's a lot of people who take advantage of others. Yeah. I hate it. It's like all these real estate agents. Oh, Zeke, you don't know what you're talking about. No, the real estate's hot. Real estate's hot. No, it's not. And you're telling your clients it's hot, and they believe you. That's what pissed me off about it. I could care less if you think that. But you're telling your clients it is. They buy it, and then you leave, and they don't have to deal with the consequence of it. And there's too many of that right now. And I think that's really what set all this off. It's like there's so many of these. That's why I walked away from financial services when I did. That's all I see. Just people who only care about their commission checks and don't care about the long-term health of their clients. It's like in the moment they lose, what they happen to your commission, which is why real estate agents are falling off a cliff right now because they can't sell. Like, what do you think was gonna happen?
One of the craziest things in the real estate process is the escalation clauses. Like, your agent can ask you what your offer is, knowing that another client they have a bigger offer that they're ready to jump on top of them. They won't even tell you that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Well, the difference with real estate in particular, like the one thing I'll give financial services, because I hate financial services, but one thing I'll give them is that they are very strict when it comes to care about your customers. So what is it? I forgot the term of it. Can't think of it right now, but it's make sure that your fiduciary responsibility, they adhere to that as a financial advisor, because SEC can penalize you, like pretty heavy too. But with real estate, that's not the case. In real estate, you have what they call the National Association of Realtors. That's not like that is a regulatory authority. That is essentially like a union. It is a code of ethics. If you're a realtor, you use these code of ethics, which is why they're being sued right now. Actually, they lost a lawsuit because they have, and West Ham Multilist is about to get sued too, again, because they're creating monopolies. And that's what the issue I've been having about for the past about 6 months. I don't want to work for no agent. I don't want to work for no broker. I'm sick of you guys. I don't want anything to do with you. I'm not trying to go search for clients. I want to be able to do my own stuff with my friends and the people I trust. I don't want to pay y'all nothing. All I need to do is find someone who's willing to sell a house and then connect them together and say, hey, are you willing to, if I find you a nice house for what you're looking for, I'm only going to charge you $3,000 flat fee. They don't care what it is. See, I don't like a 3% commission, which is really what National Association of Realtors wants. You want to monopolize a 3% commission. So, and of course, when real estate became $500,000, and everyone's like, wow, it's so affordable, and they're saying, oh, $6,000 for commissions, and they're looking at these realtor agents like, are you providing $60,000 worth of value? And they're looking at them, no. But they will fight through nail for it. And that's why you're seeing the all those things, because National Association of Realtor is essentially a union, so they're trying to protect their own interests, and we have to pay them. I mean, my union dues for well, it's $800 for a year. I'm like, for what? Like, I don't even like y'all. Like, I don't want anything to do with y'all. I don't want to call myself a realtor. I'd rather call myself me. You do whatever y'all want. I don't care. Like, I'm not trying to charge 3% no more. I'm done with that. I'm flat fee. Like, I'm fully on flat fee. If you sell a house for $500,000, I'm getting $3,000. Like, that's how I look at it at this point. Like, or if it does get that far, I'm putting limits like $3,000 or 2% up to $10,000, something like that. I'm not doing no $30,000 commission. Like, no, I don't personally believe in that, because ultimately, what value are you really providing? It's not even your house. It's the client's house who's selling to someone else who has the money for it. You provide nothing. All you do is you're supposed to educate, but they don't even do that. None of these guys know anything about the market. Nothing. Like, I was warning these dudes 2 years ago about all this. Oh, Zeke, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. You think you know what you're talking about? Okay. And now those same guys aren't working no more. But your clients are the ones that suffer for it now. And that's why you see me talk about it as much as I am right now. Like, I hate it. I legitimately hate it. I can't stand the real estate industry, the finance industry. They're all doing the same thing. They're just looking to take advantage of people. They get their commissions checked. They disappear. And it's just you left holding the bag. And it pisses me off, because the moment you fail, there's no more money. Now what you're going to do? Oh, well. And we all know what they're going to do with their money. They're going to spend it all on some stupid stuff. And then, like, it's not like they're buying any investments. They're going to buy some new car. And then there's nothing to show for it. And then everyone's failed. It's like, who wins? Nobody. It's like, it's just selfish, short-term thinking, and it pisses me off. So that's why I've been trying to stay away from it, but it's very difficult. So back to that. That's why I lost the show.
I think you can tie a wrap on this one.
Listen! It's like, that's why I'm about to create a podcast. I want to create a podcast. This is where a podcast will come in. Yeah. I appreciate it. No, that's why I wanted to create a podcast. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, literally, this is what my podcast will be all about. Talking about all this. Like, this is what it's about.